What is going on, guys? Noah Brewer here, back again with another video, and today I got something special for you. Recently I tested a product with one of my students and it initially got a 0.5 ROAS on its first test, and then we continued to change a few things, making it better and better until eventually we got a campaign with a 2.7 ROAS with the same exact product. We just changed a few things, and in this video I'm going to be showing you exactly what we changed and what the results were of each change. Now, if you're somebody who's testing products, you definitely want to stick around and watch this video, as you know, on TikTok, it's pretty common to come across products that, get a 0.5 ROAS or a 1 ROAS, and even though most of the time it's more worth it to just move on from the product, you always get this itching and burning feeling, is it worth retesting? Now, obviously, I've talked about this many times before on my channel with the rabbit hole and why you should not try to retest a product a million times trying to make it work. In certain circumstances, I do recommend, testing new creatives or doing this or that, depending on the situation. So while I think it's smart to just stick with the original rules, and if it's not breaking even or profitable within the first $100 spent, just move on. There are certain scenarios where I actually will go in and test new creatives or a different ad strategy or something along those lines, and this particular product happened to be one of those exceptions. Now, the reason it was one of those exceptions is because most of the time when I get like a 0.5 ROAS or 1 ROAS on an initial test, I'm usually just like, okay, screw it and move on. And the reason this time it was different is because that 0.5 ROAS was from 3 separate sales. So that basically indicated to me that instead of it just being one, lucky sale or maybe 2 lucky sales on the first day, it was 3 sales, which to me just really solidified that we might have something here and it might be worth investigating a little bit further, even though the ROAS was not ideal and not very profitable. So I'm going to be breaking down how the first campaign performed, what it was, and then what we changed each time and how we worked our way up to a 2.7 ROAS, with certain ad groups even having like a 3 to 4 ROAS, which is great, and we were able to surf scale those as well. So the very first campaign that we made was a base testing campaign, no different than what we talk about here on the channel, where it was 5 ad groups at 25 bucks a day each, 5 ads underneath each ad group with ACO turned on. So it was literally just a basic product test, nothing special, and like I said, it made 3 sales at a 0.52 ROAS on day 1. Now, the numbers on the back end of the product is we were selling it for $15 and buying it for about 7 or 8 per item. So the margin was 50%, which means that in order just to break even on our ads, we need a 2 ROAS. So a 0.5 ROAS is very, very far from being profitable, and also understanding that this is a much lower ticket product than what we would normally see. I was already skeptical when I saw the 0.5 ROAS because I was already thinking like, oh, it made sales, but it's a cheap product, so usually it doesn't cost as much money to get people to actually buy cheap products as it would as like a $30 product or a $50 product. So that was the base test, and at this point I used the indicators of the fact that it made 3 sales instead of just 1 or 2 to go ahead and decide to test new creatives. And I didn't just whip up some random new creatives or find new creatives online. What I did was I looked at the 5 creatives that we were currently running, and then I handpicked out the best performing ones. So I think there was 2 or 3 creatives that stood out from the rest of them, the one that actually made the sale, and they were a lot different than the other ads under that ad group. So the best way that I can explain this is with an angle. So usually when I tell people to test 5 ads underneath each ad group, I'm meaning that they should test 5 different ads, or decently different. They don't have to be completely different, but one with text, one with music, one with someone talking, try to mix it up, and that's exactly what we did, and we noticed that one of those angles was actually making the sales. So on the next campaign that we made, we found more creatives that were similar to the one that made the sales. I think it was no text, no talking, something like that, but we made new creatives following that same exact structure and launched a new campaign. Now, this really, really excited me because the day after we launched that campaign, we got a 1.1 ROAS. Now, you might be thinking, wait, hold on, Noah, that's still not that great. Why would you be excited off of that? And the reason it made me excited is because not only did we get a 1 ROAS, but we actually saw a 2x increase in the ROAS, right? Because our first campaign was a 0.5 ROAS, and then we pivoted, and then after that, it got a 1 ROAS. Now, in my opinion, if a product was a losing product, it would not improve like that. Like, even though it's just a 0.5 ROAS improvement, if it wasn't a winning product, if it wasn't something that had potential, I feel like it would have just gotten a 0.5 ROAS or just didn't sell on that second campaign. So when I saw that it actually improved, even though it still wasn't profitable, it still made me very excited, and it made me want to try to change some more things and try to make it even more better. So after seeing the 1.1 ROAS, there were a couple things that could have been improved to actually increase the return on ad spend and increase the margin. Number one, the average order value was really low. I think it was $22, and with the margin that we had, that only gives us like $10 to play with when it comes to getting purchases. So that was part of the reason that the ads were unprofitable. I was literally thinking in my head, if we were selling this product for $20 instead of $15, this would be profitable right now. And instead of just changing the price, because I'm not the biggest fan of changing the prices on products right away, what I decided to do was implement a quantity breaks app, which basically makes it so that if somebody buys 2 products from your store or 3 products, they get basically an escalating discount the more that they buy. So I believe I did, if they buy 1, then it's 0% off, it's just the normal price. If they buy 2, then it's 5% off. If they buy 3, then it's 10% off. 4, it's 15, and 5, it's 20, and anything over 5, they get 20% off of the entire order. So we did escalating quantity breaks, and the second thing that we did where I thought could see improvement is actually adding an abandoned cart email sequence, which I guess calling it a sequence isn't really true because it was just a single email. All we did was modify the standard Shopify abandoned cart email and add a 10% off discount code to it. So we didn't get Klaviyo, we didn't do anything crazy like that. And after doing this, we let that campaign run for a day. So we did everything the same. So we added quantity breaks, added the abandoned cart email with the 10% off discount, and then what we did with the ads was we just left them exactly the same. You guys know that I'm a big believer in keeping a control and a variable, and I wouldn't want to change something on the website at the same time that I changed something on the ads. So last time I changed something with the ads, this time I changed something with the website, and they combined and got married, and we got a 2.15 ROAS this time. Now at this point I was really excited. I was like, holy shit, like we made the ads better, we made the website better, the average order value went up to $28, so we actually increased the average order value by implementing the quantity breaks, and the abandoned cart sequence probably increased the conversion rate, hence the higher return on ad spend. So this is one of the things that I really want you guys to think about, because while adding quantity breaks or abandoned cart sequences aren't going to make every single loser product a winner, if you're in this kind of situation, sometimes all you need are those little added benefits to actually push you out of the red and into profitability. Whereas, you know, I don't want to set the impression that you can add quantity breaks and the abandoned cart to any product and it's going to make it profitable. But what I can say is that if you're on the brink of being profitable, there are things that you can do, like testing new ad strategies, testing new creatives, adding quantity breaks, you know, trying to increase your AOV no matter how the way. Quantity breaks is just one way to do that. There's many ways that you can improve your situation to actually get a better result. While it doesn't always get a better result, when it does, it's clearly worth it. So, and the reason I say while it doesn't always do that is because there have been times in the past where I would add quantity breaks and the product is still not profitable. So this is not a end all be all. You have to think for yourself, and you have to try and think of creative ways that could work in your specific situation to actually, you know, increase conversion rate, increase AOV. So there's no right or wrong answer. It completely depends on your situation, your product, your website, your ads, everything in the mix. And this is just what happened to work for us. And there was one more thing that we changed, but I'm sorry to announce that it's probably disappointing to hear, but it was another ad strategy change. And I actually didn't do this with the student. The student decided to do this on their own because I was on a trip, but I have talked about this many times on the channel and in a few of my ebooks actually. So now we were profitable at this point. What he decided to do was optimize for value instead of optimizing for conversions. Now, if you don't know what this is, if you go to your ad group level inside of the TikTok Ads Manager and scroll all the way down, you'll see that there's a little conversions button, and it's basically where you're able to choose what the ad is optimizing for. And all you need to do is click on conversions and then click value. And I believe that you need a few purchases before you can actually do this, but after you get a few purchases, you can. And the new campaign that we did the same exact campaign as before. It was like 5x25, 5 best performing angle ads with the quantity breaks, with the abandoned cart discount. And the only difference between this campaign and the last campaign campaign was we were optimizing for value as opposed to conversions, and voila, the new campaign had a 2.7 ROAS. So I don't know how this product is going to actually continue performing. We are still going to make a few changes to the store. Just today, we're going to add some cross sells. We're going to see how that goes tomorrow, and we're also going to launch a new campaign tonight. And we also have been testing out surf scaling in the meantime, and it has worked well on one of the days, but sadly today it didn't work super hot. So I'm not sure where this store is going to go and how big this is actually going to be able to scale. But I just wanted to put this video out there so that you guys have the idea that when you're in a scenario where a product is not doing super hot, you can do a lot of different things to actually turn it into the green and actually make that product profitable so that you can go ahead and scale it. Whether it's changing up your ads or testing the best performing marketing angles of your top ads, or adding quantity breaks, trying to increase your average order value. You could also add upsells and cross sells to do this as well. Adding abandoned cart sequences. You can also do SMS marketing, which is something that we haven't done yet, or testing out different ad strategies. Like maybe instead of doing $25 budgets, you can do $40 budgets, or instead of doing conversion optimization, you can do value optimization. There's a lot of different things that you can test that could genuinely push you over the edge into being profitable, and that's the only point that I wanted to point out in this video. So that was pretty much it. I hope this case study was super valuable for you. If it was, smash the like button and subscribe if you want more banger videos like this about dropshipping with TikTok ads. But that's pretty much it for this video. This is Noah Brewer, and I'm out. Peace.